Hey, thanks for watching our video with Pleasanton Virtual School. Today I'm going to be showing you a little taste of our curriculum for 7th, 6th, and 5th grade. Okay, first we're going to look at Blue Blazer. This is about a 7th grade, approximately, history lesson. We're going to click on Unit 1. Then we'll go to Unit 1, Lesson 1, Introduction. Once we click there, it's going to go our Unit 1 objectives. We check those out. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's jump on and let's go look at the printables. Printables are provided in your welcome packet. This portion is just so that you can see exactly what printable you'll be using for today's lesson. Once you've got that figured out, you'll hit Mark this activity complete. Now we can begin Lesson 1. Here it goes.
Anthropology, archaeology, artifact.
It doesn't automatically read everything. It is an option for your student if you have this text-to-speech button, which we can turn on for you as your graduation coach. So when I click on that, if I want it to read everything to my student, now I would hit this play button.
1. Introduction to history. Vocabulary. Anthropology, the study of humans. Archaeology, the study of the remains of human civilizations and cultures. Artifact, an object made or used by humans. Look at everything on your desk.
Okay, so we can keep reading to your student, or you can have your student read it for themselves. It also has some other options here that can kind of help your student as they're reading. Another option would be if they just need it to read part of it, maybe there's just a couple words they don't know and they want to start a little later.
Have you ever heard that those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it?
And then they can hit the stop button whenever they're ready, and if they want to start reading again at a later spot.
Every day, you make decisions that are based on events that happened in the past.
So they can essentially select per sentence as they go, or the play button would have simply made it play the entire thing. Alright, so we're scrolling down, we're reading about this lesson as it would go, or having it read to your student. Then there is a quiz at the bottom. The nice thing about the quiz is I'm able to scroll back up to find the answer. Alright, if perhaps there's something I'm not sure about, I could bookmark it, or if I wanted to make a question, perhaps I'm like, oh, I'm not really sure, what is this question? I could type it over here. And then as I scroll up, I can be looking for exactly what that possible question and answer is. Just to help our students learn. It's kind of tricky when you're going back and forth. It's not as easy as when you have a piece of paper. But this does make it a little easier so they can know exactly what they're looking for. I used copy and paste there. I can undo pretty quickly if I wanted to. Once the student's done with the lesson and the quiz, they go to this page where we can see that they answered all the questions, which is indicated by the green check mark. That's not to say they got it right, simply that it was answered. The yellow you can see there, one is a bookmark, the other shows that they took notes over question 1. Now, once the student is ready, they can go ahead and either save and exit, or they can submit all the answers. Once it's submitted, we can see that score. And taking in that score, I can go, okay, I need to redo it. So I go back to the lesson, scroll down to the bottom where I can see all the answers that I got right and wrong from this first try. When I get to the bottom, I'll have the opportunity, as you can see there on the right, to retake. If after that second try, they've still not received an 80%, what happens next is basically a pause. This is a moment where they can still go back and study the lesson, but they cannot retake the quiz until they've contacted their graduation coach and let them know they've spent time studying, taking some notes, doing something, prepare for the quiz again, or met with their graduation coach for some additional help. Once they've done that and the graduation coach sees they've done that, they will give them another try. The next lesson we're going to look at is a 6th grade lesson, traditionally 6th grade around that area, and we call this the Soaring Blue. Okay, so this is a Soaring Blue reading comprehension lesson. Your student's going to be reading down through all of this information. They get here to their first game to see if they understand the material. In this game over simple predicates In simple subjects, they get to read the directions, the instructions at the very beginning, and then jump right in. As your student goes through this, they will do their best to try to guess it. Once they select their answer, there in the bottom right corner that says check, check answer. So they would check that answer by clicking that button in the bottom right hand corner. I'm clicking all over just to see what all I can click. Once I've been like, oh, nope, classroom, I'm going to pick that check answer, says correct. And as you can see on the left there, it lets me know my progress, how many questions I have to get to completion of this little game that I'm playing. Okay, so far the student's been doing pretty well, but this time I chose wrong on purpose here so that we can see what happens when the student answers incorrectly. It not only lets them know it was incorrect, but gives them some feedback, lets them know what's the highlighted was the correct and what the underline means as well. Okay, once the student is done with the game, they'll go down a little lower and there's the actual quiz, which is how they're getting a grade for this assignment. However, the assignment is not over yet because as they scroll down, there's a comprehension and some questions over that comprehension also for a grade. Once they're done, they hit next. It takes them to this page where we can see that there are no green check marks because they did not answer any of the actual quiz questions. Now we're going to look at the Flying J math, which is equivalent to about 5th grade math. Okay, so now that we're in the Flying J, we're going to scroll down. I think we're going to do this fraction lesson right here. So as we look at this lesson, you see it starts with vocabulary, same as the other ones as before. As you scroll through the lesson, you're going to see some great visuals, and here we're going to have a video to help teach the concepts.
You can think of fractions as representing equal parts of a whole. This is kind of like when you cut a pizza into multiple slices. Pizza. Pizza is good with pepperoni, mushrooms, and cheese. Lots of cheese. Can you add a little more? Just a little more. One more time? Much better. Unfortunately, this is not a video about pizza, but pizza fractions. If you cut a pizza into 5 equal slices, each piece represents 1 out of 5, or 1/5 of the whole pizza. It's the same with a circle. If you slice a circle into 6 equal pieces, what would the fraction of one piece be? That's right, 1/6. One piece is 1/6 of the whole circle. Now, time to eat.
Okay, our video's over. It's still going to teach us some more concepts here that we need to read about. We'll get down a little bit lower and then we'll have another video to watch.
The MathBot Model 700A offers a wide range of functionality, including DFD or Digital Fraction Display. Here's an example. What fraction does this model show? It is divided into 4 equal parts. So we have the denominator of the fraction 4. 3 of those parts are shaded. We have the numerator 3. The model shows the fraction 3/4. This model is divided into 8 equal parts with 6 parts shaded. This model shows the fraction 6/8. Now, here are the 2 models compared to each other. What do you notice? MathBot informs us of 2 things. It takes 2/8 to equal 1/4, and 3 of the fourths is the same as 6 of the eighths. And because they are equal to each other, what kind of fractions are they? Equivalent fractions. Precisely.
Okay, so let me scroll down. We have some more examples that it's going to give us. Another example. Now we can start answering the questions. Now once you're done with that quiz, it would take you to the next page just like the others have before. All very similar. Hopefully this has given you a little bit of an idea of what our lessons look like for 5th, 6th, and 7th graders. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.